Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be having private conference of One Good and Services. But before we start, let us all stand for a prayer.
Lord God, we thank you that you promise to be with us always. Thank you that your presence is with us right now. Today, we give you our hearts, our minds, and our lives. Come speak your words of life into our beings. We pray that you would deepen our comprehension, broaden our thinking, and transform our understanding of what we are about to study. For you are our wise counselor, our perfect teacher, and our faithful friend. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Let us all be seated. To our YouTube live viewers, fellow back members from the Secretariat and Technical Working Group, today we'll be having private conference of One Good and Services. Once again, good morning to each and everyone. May I request our head secretariat who are the invited. First is the selected observer from the NGO, Engineer Augusto. Kindly play the our selected NGO observer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the selection of our observer from the kindly replay it, Ms. Back Secretariat, para makita natin sa selection ng observers coming from the NGO. And our selected official observer, sir, from the NGO is coming from Philippine Partnership for the Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Augusto, for playing the selection of observers for today's private conference. And again, may I know who are the invited observers for today's procurement activity?
Thank you again, Mr. Chair, and a pleasant morning to all for today's private conference. Our official observers for today's private conference for One Goods and Services is coming from our Commission on Audit, the resident auditor, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office, Bayambong Nueva Vizcaya. Our second official observer is Mr. Caridad Corridor, National Coordinator from the Philippine Partnership for Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas, or PILDHRRA, from Loyola Heights, Quezon City. And our third official observer is Engineer Gladys G. Tuborcio, alternate observer from National Constructors Association of the Philippines, Incorporated, Aritao, Nueva Vizcaya. So these are our three official observers for today's procurement activities. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Augusto, our head secretariat. Aside from this invitation letter, do we have any other mode of invitation, Engineer Augusto?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have sent them through an email, sir. Invitation to observers for contract ID number 24 GBI 11, sent through my official email dated March 7, 2024 at 5:10 p.m. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Augusto. All of our invited observers are not present, but we can continue the scheduled private conference. But before we start, may I again ask the head secretariat, Engineer Brian Augusto, to read attendance and declare if we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and for the roll call of attendance for the for this private conference for the bids and awards committee members composition. We have Engineer Valentino B. Sareno,
Present.
BAC Chairman, Chief Planning and Design Section, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe,
Present.
BAC Vice Chairman, Chief Quality Assurance Section, Engineer Reden A. Milyare,
Present.
BAC Regular Member, Engineer Maria Loida F. Bernabe, Provisional Member and User, Chief Maintenance Section, Engineer Larissa Villanueva Blanza, Provisional Member and User for Goods and Services from the Maintenance Section, and Engineer Jermaine B. Benevista, Provisional Member and User from the Planning and Design Section. And for the roll call, sir, of the BAC Secretariat, yours truly, Brian Neil G. Augo, Head. For the BAC Secretariat members, we have Ms. Simonette T. Lacorda, BAC Secretariat Member, Mr. Remigio A. Santos, BAC Secretariat Member, Ms. Ande Erica Fatima P. Cabang, BAC Secretariat Member, Ms. Lutgarda D. Reyes, BAC Secretariat Member, and Mr. Jesus Ibutak, BAC Secretariat members, and for the technical working group, sir, who are present for today's activity, Engineer Leonie E. Pasqua, TWG member. And for the prospective bidders, sir, who are present for today's activity, we have Mr. Ludwig Van Puliero, sales representative from Precision Instruments Corporation. Morning, sir. And majority, sir, of the BAC Secretariat members are hereby present for today's procurement activity. Therefore, there is a constitution of quorum. Thank you, sir.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Nilabusto, for reading the attendance for today's private conference dated March 8, 2024. Since majority of the BAC members are present, as BAC Chair, I now declare that this procurement activity is officially open and in order. Before we go for the main agenda, I would like to first to read the Section 29 is private conference, the activity for today, particularly Section 22 and 22.3. The private conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the private conference. Private conference may be conducted in person or face-to-face through video conferencing, webcasting, or similar technology, or a combination thereof. Procuring entities with video conferencing capabilities that have manufacturers, suppliers, distributors, contractors, and/or consultants that also have video conferencing capabilities may conduct the private conferences electronically. The private conference is open to prospective bidders, and in case of procurement of consulting services, the shortlisted bidder, but attendance shall not be mandatory. For 22.4, the minutes of the private conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the private conference, and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the BAC amending any provisions of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. That is the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulation of Republic Act 9184, which is the private conference. So to continue, this is the agenda for today. The first agenda is the basic contract data to be discussed to us by the provisional member for goods and services, Engineer Larissa Planza, with the support of our geodetic engineer and a TWG member, Engineer Leonie E. Pasqua. For the second agenda, requirements of bidding documents to be presented to us by our Head Secretariat Engineer Brian Neil Agusto. For the third agenda, documents to be submitted by the bidder including technical and financial proposal from our Secretariat through Engineer Brian Neil Agusto. The fourth agenda, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, again through the Secretariat, Engineer Brian Neil Agusto. For the fifth agenda, questions, comments from the bidders and replies of back and other representative of procuring entity, prospective bidders and the back. And summary of proceedings, including bid bulletins, addenda to be issued, if any. And the last is the other matters. For that is the agenda for today. So let's continue for the first agenda. For contract ID number 24 GBI 111, may request Engineer Larissa Blanza to discuss in detail the loan contract for today. It is One Good and Services. Engineer Blanza, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for the contract ID 24 GBI 11, the name of the project is Procurement of One Unit Simultaneous Localization and Mapping, or SLAM, for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First DEO. The location of the project is DPWH Bayambang Nueva Vizcaya. Approved budget for the contract is 7,700,000. The duration for the contract is 60 calendar days upon the issuance of the NTP. Cost of bid documents is 10,000 pesos, and the source of fund is from the DPWH FY 2024 Capital Outlay EAW. For the SLAM, or the Simultaneous Localization and Mapping, or SLAM, it is a method to create a map of the environment while tracking the position of the map creator. That's the definition of the SLAM. For the model to be provided by the contractor, or by the supplier, for the potential supplier, the SLAM package should have GNSS module. GNSS means Global Navigation Satellite System. It covers all, and it is a standard generic term for satellite navigation system that provide autonomous geospatial positioning with global coverage. So, ito yung generic term for GPS, GLONASS, or Galileo, BIDU, and other regional systems. The SLAM should also include backpack kit, should also include vehicle kit with GNSS antenna. The software provided should include point cloud, processing software, LiDAR, 360 MLS combination mode, and the base station should include also for RTK full constellation with advanced RTK algorithm featuring 1,198 channels for full constellation tracking. It should also adapt to various complex and harsh environments and ensure centimeter level positioning accuracy with tripod, triback, and adapter. For the laptop included, the processing software should be Core i7 or equivalent, should have 16 gigabyte RAM or equivalent, should have GPU NVIDIA 6 gigabyte or equivalent. For the warranty of the product, 1 year warranty against factory defect, 3 months warranty against for battery factory defect, and it should include free delivery and training charges for a maximum of 4 days training for 1 unit and software application. For other technical specification, I pass the mic to Engineer Yoni Pascua.
Thank you, Ma'am Risa, Mr. Chairman. Itong LAM, it is an instrument that can generate 3D space, or we could as well call this as point cloud instrument. So ibig sabihin po ng point cloud instrument, yun nga po yung kaya niyang mag-gather ng 3D dimension. May capacity kasi itong instrumento na ito, lalo na yung hindi kayang pasukin ng RTK, Real-Time Kinematic Instrument, yung GNS natin. During the presentation or demo, nakita ko na kaya niya. So ito, napakagandang instrument, particularly in as-built surveying. Kahit sa mga loob ng mga buildings, pwede. Kasi yung loob ng building minsan hindi kayang i-penetrate ng RTK. So may kanya-kanya silang limitation sa gamit. This instrument, parang hinahawakan mo lang siya, parang yung mga nagba-vlogger, parang ganun lang siya na tapos kumukuha na siya ng mga points within sapat na gusto mo. I think kaya niya mag-gather ng parang 6,000 points per second. So ibig sabihin, kung maraming points, that means the accuracy is also great. 640,000 points per second, sir. Ito, sir, kasi malit pa yon compared sa regular scanner instrument na kaya nilang mag-generate ng 2 million points per second, 3 million points per second. So mas precise talaga yung scanner, yung regular na scanner natin. Ang alam ko, nag-practice din ng central office yung scanner. Pero ito, sir, parang maganda sa atin ito. Yung nature niya, scanner din talaga.
Can you show in our video screen yung itsura nung Islam? For the benefit of our prospective bidders, yan lang ba yun?
Yes, sir. Yan lang. Yung camera niya, yung may puti doon sa harap. 360 yung rotation niya. Tapos,
ano yung nasa baba? CPU?
Parang, ayan, sir. Yan yung battery niya na isa. At saka parang processing din na rin niya, sir. Handy, sir. Very, very handy itong instrumento
Battery,
na ito.
how is the connection of the battery to the Islam?
May wire yan, sir. Hindi lang kasi nipagita. May wire na nakita kami noon na nakakonekta. Then maglakad na lang, sir, kung saan mo gusto. Makikita mo lahat yan kasi pati taas, baba, side, lahat. Kikita, pati kahoy, sir, kaya niya. Yung pagkabigkas ni Ma'am Larissa kanina, pwede kasing i-mount ito sa sasakyan. Ito yung parang naging usapan namin ni Chief ng planning. Hopefully, sir, i-testing namin sa ROCON. Hopefully, pwede.
Pwede din bang ilagay yan sa drone?
Sa drone.
Yes.
Hindi, sir, kasi handheld lang siya, sir. Sige, sir. Sige.
Okay, can, in addition with the,
Prospective bidder ko na.
okay. Okay,
Hello po.
we have
Hello po.
prospective bidders in the person of Gian. Kindly explain the details of this instrument.
Ayun po,
Gian,
good
okay.
morning po. So, yan po kasi sa picture, yan lang po yung pero may mga nakadugtong pong cord para dyan po. Then, yung sinabi nga po kanina, may vehicle mounted siya. Yung vehicle mounted niya with base din po yun. Para as in may specific na like 40 kilometers ganun per hour yung andar para makagather ng data within 360 po. Then yung tanong po kanina kung pwede nating i-mount, pwede naman po.
Sa drone.
Opo. So ano po siya car mounted, vehicle mounted, sedan and SUV sir. Then pwede po siya, may backpack kit po siya para po doon sa mga challenging places. Pwede po siyang pasukin kasi backpack, then nasa na po yung base. Then kailangan mo na lang po maglaad para pasukin po yung mga medyo challenging. Tapos makakagather din po siya ng data.
So, bali tatlo siya. Pwede kang handheld, maglalakad ka.
Yes.
Kung mapapagod ka, pwede mo namang ilagay sa mga vehicles. Kung gusto mo naman ng medyo mas aerial, pwede mo siyang ilagay sa mga drone. Meron kaming mga drone dito. Pwede bang ilagay yan dun sa mga drones na na-deliver ng session?
Yes po. Bali, ang kailangan lang po is yung pang-mount.
So separate yung mount ng Islam na ilalagay mo doon sa drone.
Yes po.
Bibili pa kami noon o kasama na.
Bali, kung preferred po kung kami mag-deliver po, kung preferred po talaga ilagay siya sa drone, dahil nga po may drone po, kasama na rin po siya yung mount.
Kasama na sa package, pwede mo siyang yung mounting sa sasakyan, mounting sa drone, kasama na yon.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, may query lang ako. Yung about do sa mounting sa sasakyan, ano, magnet o talagang i-screw sa sasakyan?
Minamount po talaga.
Hindi siya magnet? Di bubutasan yung ano? Kung sa, siyempre,
Di po sisilahin.
magnet.
Pwede ko lang po kayo. Bali po siya. Parang yung inaano po natin na ina-attach na hindi po siya magnet. Parang magnet po siguro siya na
Sa bubong ba? Sa bubong ba ilalagay o?
parang hinihigo po yung parang
Ay, vacuum. Suction, no?
na ina-attach po. Ipakita ko na lang po.
Dun sa camera siguro.
Pwede ba dyan sa video screen?
Ay,
Hindi po.
Mr. Chairman, in addition, kasi
yes.
pag kinabit natin sa sasakyan, baka ang isip natin, magalaw siya. Parang ganun pa siguro. Isa yun, na parang, pero hindi, kasi yun nga, may stabilizer ito. Sabi ko nga yung parang dun sa mga nagbablog, kahit tumatakbo, stable pa rin siya. Natusa siyang, may sarili siyang stabilizer. Sir Gian, may tanong lang din ako with regard dun sa pwede palang ikabit sa drone. Is there a maximum height intended for this instrument?
Same din po sa LiDAR attachment po na meron pa. So, within po, basta hindi po lalagpas ng 120 po. Kasi yun lang po yung allowed ng pa. Pero for better data po, pwede po mag-average ng from 70 to 90 yung altitude po. Nasa right side po, yung pang-mount. Hindi po. Ayan po yung back. Ayan po.
Ayun sir, yung sa drone naman.
Ayan po. Ayan po yung pang-vehicle mounting.
Ay, bali sir, yung ano, yung pwede pala siyang baliktarin.
Opo.
Yung mounting niya para pupunta sa drone.
Opo.
Kasi ano yun.
Tapos may pinapagawa po talaga na drone mounting para po sa pero wala na pong kailangan problemahin po yung susupply. Kasi po, ito cover.
Ay, kasama yun, sir, yung mounting sa drone at saka sa sasakyan.
Opo.
Okay.
Kasi pwede naman po, kahit po yung na-drone po ninyo, kahit po nakakabit po itong scanner, pwede pa po magkabit sa top ng camera for vision.
Ano yun, sir, yung suction niya? Dalawa o apat yun pag ano?
Apat po.
Ah, meron sa lang. Okay.
Kaya safe po talaga. Kasi hindi naman po magpapaandar ng sobrang bilis. Pangit po yung data.
Maximum speed is 40 kilometers per hour. So, sinasabi kanina ni Engineer Leonie Pascua na kung sakali, kasi kung may mga lubak-lubak, hindi apektado yung pagkuha ng data nung SLAM.
Hindi po. Bali sa software na po kasi yung magpa-process po. Kaya po specific po yung software po na kailangan makuha natin para doon po sa kailangan ng planning po na pang-road ko.
How about dun sa specification ng drone? Na siyempre, merong requirement na timbang yung mga drones.
Opo.
Ano yung minimum na specification ng drone na kayang-kayang buhatin yung SLAM? By the way, gaano ba kabigat yung SLAM? Including yung base niya.
Oh, bali yung drone po na nasa inyo, mga 3 point something po yun. Tapos yung mga SLAM naman po, yung bigat niya, hindi naman
Yung drone namin, kaya ang 3 point something kilos, kamo
yes
ba?
po.
3 kilos, kamo na lang.
Bali hindi pa rin po siya lalagpas ng 7 kilograms. So, hindi pa rin po siya kailangang register. So, allowed pa rin po siya mag-carry ng mga basta within 7 kilograms. Pag lumagpas po kasi, yun po yung kailangan ita pagpaalam po sa kasi.
So, ibig mong sabihin yung drone na sinupply dito sa amin, kaya ang 7 kilos na buhatin?
Ay, hindi po, total lang. Pero kaya po niya mag-carry ng mga 3.5.
Mga 3.5 kilos.
Opo.
Ano naman ang timbang nung SLAM to include the adapter o yung base?
Nasa 1 point something po yan. Hindi po ako sure pero yung lighter po kasi wala pang something. Pero ito po parang almost 2. So, yung drone po kasi nasa 3 point something. Tapos mga kahit po 2 kilo. Kaya pa rin po, pasok pa rin po siya.
How about yung lifespan ng battery? Gaano katagal yung lifespan ng battery? Ilang operating hours ng battery? Hours ba o minutes lang?
Hindi po, hours.
Kunyari, vehicle mounted o di magro-rockon. Kaya ba ang kanyan 8 hours?
Ang single barrel, sige po, single barrel in life niya po is 3 hours.
3 hours.
Basta yun po yung, halimbawa, road call lang po, yun lang pang vehicle na. Kaya po yung tumagal ng hours.
Sir, query din. Yung charging niyan pwede sa USB.
Oo.
So, pwede sa sakyan, naka-charge siya. And then, how about yung memory, sir?
Na-expand naman.
Expandable memory. SD card. Okay.
Provide din po na.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Katulad po last.
Ano ba kasi yung pasama na memory card para dyan sa may SLAM?
Yung mga 64 to 128 po.
64 hanggang to 218? 128
GB.
gigabytes.
Basta ang pinaprovide po namin, hindi po yung bibili lang sa mga muraan po. Yung talagang mga parang naka-gold or para po talagang maayos po yung makukuha ng game. Para masay-safe.
How about the warranty? May ilang taon ang warranty niyan?
1 year warranty po. For unit, then 3 months warranty for battery.
shockproof ba yung Islam na yan? Kunyari, hindi mo maiwasan na bitawan. Shockproof ba?
Depende po.
Ginamang mo yung nalaglag.
Pero kung ako po ang hawak, siguro hindi ko po mabibita.
Kasi napakamahal. Di mo, 7.7 million na ang ABC niya.
Sir, wala bang kasama yung para pag ano sa kamay parang nakaganon, nakagrip? Yan. Di ba, hawak-hawak po. Oo.
Nagagawa naman po ng by request po na pagsusupply.
Oo,
Kasi
para
even-
para hindi
Oo.
mabitapit.
Sa amin din po, nagre-request din po kasi sila sa mga handled na mga field control na magkaroon po ng parang chain. Kasi
Oo.
hindi makalimot, nandun pa rin. Pwede naman po.
Kasama uli sa package ba yun?
Sasama ko po.
Ay, okay. Kasi baka nag-iikot, may ahas, nagulat. Hindi.
Pero yung unit po kasi based po sa yung last time po na nag-demo. Wala lang po sa akin ng data pero dito po yung niran namin. So yung 360 view po nitong district, yung compound po na pakita po.
Yung bang sinupply nyo na drone, may kasama bang ano yon, yung bang tanikala, ano ang tawag doon? Yung para huwag siyang malaglag? O yung,
sinasabi
yung,
sir na parang
o sa drone?
Meron po siyang sinusuot na lanyard.
Merong pasama.
Kaya kahit mabitawan po, nakahang lang po dito sa tam.
kasi naka-queen pass.
So pati na yung Islam, meron ding lanyard yun na
Meron
pasama.
po, pati po yung pinaka-processor niyo po, meron po siyang parang pang sling bag na nandito po. Tapos na-backpack po, naka-attach, naka-safety po.
Isa pa sir pala. Ano ba yung tribots ba yun? Di ba may ano kanina? Tripod, tapos tripack? Ano yun? Anong itsura nun?
Para po doon yung sa base unit, sa base po.
Sa base, anong nun?
Di ba po, magtatayo po kasi just in case na gusto po natin magtayo, na may tripod na po, may triblock na. Yun po yung nilalagay sa GNSS po, na base.
Ibig sabihin mas maliit sa tripod yun.
Yung triblock ba po ni
Oo. May Islam.
yung ginagamit ko sa magiging base mo po?
Oo, kasi may nakalagay dun sa ano kanina, tripod, triback.
Opo, kasi doon po siya included. Inclusive po siya. dun
Ay,
sa-
ipapatong sa tripod pa yon.
Opo, tripod po, tapos yung tripod. Tapos po yung GNSS. Pwede rin po kung gusto mag-extend na phone, pwede rin po. Especially sa mga... Pero pag dala-dala nyo naman na po yung base, hindi na po kailangan ng tripod sa camera. Niready lang din po yun para just in case na gusto po magtayo sa area. Pwede po. Pero sa mga challenging po, kasama nyo na po yung base. Yung pinaka nandito po sa ulo. Pag binakpak po, habang nagdala. Yung last demo po kasi, yung ginawa, tinayo lang po yung pinaka-base. Kasi po, wala kaming dalang backpack.
Yan sir, pwede applicable din ba sa mga tunnel?
Opo, mining, tunnel,
Oo.
under yung mga basement ng building.
Sa mga
Tapos
shots
yung
niya.
building condition, pwede po. Pwede dito sa loob, just in case nagagawa po ng panibagong building ulit na ganitong design. Kaya po.
Tapos ano sir, di ba sa loob yan? Di yung shots mo sa loob, sasabay mo shots mo sa labas para magtugtog silang
Oo.
dalawa
Sa software.
sa software na yun.
Dudugtongin na po para isang view.
So yung mga kinuha namin meron di pa pang output yung ay sa parang sa outdoor yung kinuha namin isa tapos yan parang indoor. So yung software niya pag pinagsama, kasama ba yung software na yun?
Yes po,
Diba?
pwede rin po ilagay yung nag-gather na data papunta po dito sa MLS software.
Oo.
Hindi ko na po banggitin ito. Yun po, yung
Pwedeng kombinasyon sila. di ba?
pwede po i-combine. Para po kung sa planning, detail po yung may bibigay.
Ay, okay sir.
Okay, tanong din ako, yung sa supplier, kung biglang umulan, anong extent ng waterproof ba? 'Di ba minsan nasa field, ang layo ng pinuntahan nila, nasa gitna ng field na wala kang sisilungan. yung kwan niya, waterproof ba itong equipment na ito?
Ano po siya? Ingress protection po, 54. So, waterproof.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from fellow back members? None. From the secretariat, lalong-lalo na sa mga YouTube live viewers and also prospective bidders, if any. None. So, fellow back members, per presentation, yung isang pan natin kanina, supplier, do you have any questions yung present ngayon? Wala. Okay, we have the none. So, fellow back members, tatanong na lang ako. Do you have any other amendment from these one good and services? Let's start from the Maria Lloyd Bernabe from the maintenance section.
Ano lang po, yung terms and condition na naka-post is iba. For bid bulletin na lang po siguro, which is yung nabanggit ni Engineer Larissa kanina, yung warranty ng unit at saka warranty ng battery, yung training, at saka yung supplier na merong manufacturer certificate. Ang iba ata yung nailagay, sir, na terms and condition na na-post. Pa-double check na lang, sir.
Right. Okay, Secretary, can you take note the publish features, terms and conditions for these goods and services? Any other from provisional member from the planning and design section, Engineer Jermaine Buenavista?
Mr. Chair, I have no amendment.
Noted. Or back Vice Chair, Engineer Danilo A. Bernabe?
No amendments, Mr. Chair.
Okay, noted. So we have to include the amendment from as per take note in Engineer Augusto from the Secretariat, or amendment for as per checking.
Noted, Mr.
And-
Chair.
Okay. So that's all for the first agenda, which is the basic contract data. So let's continue for the second agenda for today, the requirements of bidding documents. Again, Engineer Brian L. Augusto. Okay, your Leonie Pascua, you can. Okay. Thank you for coming. Sir Gian. Okay. Engineer Augusto for the second agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the second agenda for the requirements of bidding documents for contract ID 24 GBI 11 GBI 11 for ITB clause 14.1A. The bid security shall in the form of bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. The amount of the amount less than 2% of the ABC, bid security is in cash, cashier's manager's check, bank draft guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit, or the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is surety bond. For ITB clause 20.2, licenses and permits relevant to the project and all the corresponding law requiring it. Number 1, mayor's permit. 2, DTI. 3, PhilJEPSA registration. 4, tax clearance. 5, supplier certificate or SRC. And for ITB clause 20.1, for terms and conditions, equipment will be delivered free of charge. Maximum of 4 days training for unit and software application. For the warranty, unit 1 year against factor defect. For the battery, 3 months against factory defects. And supplier must have manufacturer certificate or exclusive distributor of the unit being offered. And the same brand offer for the pre-processing and processing software, backpack kit, vehicle mounted kit with GNS antenna and base station. Sir, that's all for the requirements of the bidding documents.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Nel Augusto, our Head Secretariat, for the second agenda. So let's continue for the third agenda, which is the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. Again, may request Engineer Brian Nel Augusto for the Secretariat for the third agenda.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. For the third agenda, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, will be played through audio recording, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Secretary, please play the audio recording for the third agenda.
Check Checklist of technical and financial documents. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. For legal documents, valid Philjips registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages. Or registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry, for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority, for cooperatives or its equivalent document, and mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas, and tax clearance per EO number 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR. For technical documents, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contract awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, and statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in Section 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of Republic Act Number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and original copy of bid security, if in the form of surety bond, submit also certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration, and conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production, delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or after sales parts if applicable, and original duly signed omnibus sworn statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. Financial documents. The supplier's audited financial statements showing, among others, the supplier's total and current assets and liabilities is stamped received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of the bid submission, and the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, or a committed line or credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B documents. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners is stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. Other documentary requirements under Republic Act Number 9184 as applicable. For foreign bidders claiming by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, certification from the relevant government office of their country is stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in government procurement activities for the same item or product. Certification from DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. Financial component envelope. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and original of duly signed and accomplished price schedule.
That's all, sir, for the agenda number 3, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals for goods and services. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Engineer Brian Nela Gusto, for the third agenda. And let's continue for the fourth agenda, which is the criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. Again, from the Secretariat through Engineer Brian Nela Gusto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the fourth agenda, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award will be played through audio recording presentation, sir. Thank you.
Again, Secretariat, kindly play the pre-recorded audio presentation for the fourth agenda.
Pre-bid conference. Detailed evaluation of bids. For the procurement of goods and infrastructure projects, the BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bids to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive. But specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. Arithmetical corrections. Consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties, which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be basis for bid evaluation and comparison. In case of discrepancies between bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. Between total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. Between stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Between unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the BAC its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of this IRR. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain all statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to the following. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of this IRR. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the infrastructure projects offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project for the procurement of infrastructure projects. Verification of availability and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment unit to be owned, leased, under, purchased by the bidder for use in the contract. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures, or substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractor from the award for the procurement of infrastructure projects.
That's all, sir, for the agenda number 4, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. Thank you.
Again, thank you from the Secretariat for the agenda number 4. Okay, let's continue for the 5th agenda. Questions, comments from bidders, and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. Secretariat, do we have any questions or clarifications from our YouTube live viewers, especially our prospective bidders? None? So, being none, let's continue for the 7th, the summary of proceeding, including bid bulletins, addenda to be issued. We have a bid bulletin for this particular project. Take note, Secretariat, for
Noted, Mr. Chair.
so for the last agenda, the other matters, fellow BAC members, do you have any other matters to present? Being none, so from the Secretariat, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto, do you have any other reminders or announcement for the next procuring activities?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have an announcement, sir, for the next procurement activity.
Okay, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto, kindly read all the details for the next procurement activities.
For the announcement and reminders for the next procurement activity, which is the opening of bids. Date and time is on March 12, 2024 at 9 a.m. Venue PRU Bidding Room, Main Building, DPWH Nueva Vizcaya, First DEO, Bayambong Nueva Vizcaya, for 2 goods and services and 3 civil works projects. For the goods and services, for the first project with contract ID number 24GBI09, name of the project, procurement of 1 unit multi-function color production photocopier, etc. for the use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. Location of the project is DPWH Bayambong Nueva Vizcaya. The approved budget for the contract or ABC is 10,500,000 pesos and a duration of 60 calendar days upon issuance of NTP. Cost of bidding documents is 25,000 and the source of fund of DPWH FY 2024 capital outlay or EO. For the second goods and services with contract ID number 24GBI10, name of the project, procurement of a 1 unit split type air conditioner inverter 2.5 HP, etc. for use of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya First District Engineering Office. Location of the project is at DPWH Bayambong Nueva Vizcaya with an approved budget for the contract or ABC of 1,218,300 pesos and a duration of 60 calendar days upon issuance of NTP. Cost of bidding documents is 5,000 and a source of fund of DPWH FY 2024 capital outlay or EO. For the 3 civil works, sir, for the first project with contract ID number 24BI0070, name of the project, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings/Facilities to Support Social Services, Construction of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Almaguer South. Location of the project is at Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya with an approved budget for the contract or ABC of 4,950,000 pesos and a project description of construction of 15 meters by 30 meters multipurpose building with a project duration of 180 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 5,000 and a source of fund of regular infra FY 2024. For the second project, sir, with contract ID number 24BI0071, name of the project, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings/Facilities to Support Social Services, completion of multipurpose building, Salinas National High School, Barangay Salinas. Location of the project is at Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya with an indicative approved budget for the contract or ABC of 2,970,000 pesos and a project description of completion of multipurpose building with a project duration of 120 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 5,000 and a source of fund of regular infra FY 2024. For the last project, sir, with contract ID number 24BI0072, name of the project, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings/Facilities to Support Social Services, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Santa Rosa. Location of the project is at Bayambong, Nueva Vizcaya with an approved budget for the contract or ABC of 4,950,000 pesos and a project description of construction of 2-story multipurpose building and a project duration of 180 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents is 5,000 and a source of fund of regular infra FY 2024. So that's all for the announcement reminders for the next procurement activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Brian Neil Augusto, for reading the next procurement activity, which will be on March 12, 2024 at 9 a.m. for two goods and services and 3 civil works. Again, this to remind fellow back members our jury duty for the next procurement activities. So, again, may I ask the Secretariat, do you have any comment or clarification for the recently concluded private conference? None? So, may I ask, can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, since we are done with the private conference of one goods and services and basic contract data has been discussed, and there are no more queries, and the announcement has been made for the next procurement activity, which is on March 12, 2024, for 2 goods and services and 3 civil works projects. I now move to close this procurement activity.
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Since it's been moved and seconded that this procurement activity for one goods and services, as back chair, I now officially close this procurement activity. Then once again, good morning to each and everyone to our YouTube live viewers. God bless us all and magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Thank you.